everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know. I've been MIA, missing in action. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, thank you for sticking around, right, guys? So basically, I started this channel off for selfish reasons, and it worked, right? I passed the FTMO challenge. So that was about a month ago now. Now, when I passed the challenge, I was also passing my second phase one at the same time. Fast forward that month, I had a lot going on, business-wise, taking vacations, and unfortunately, was not the best month for me. Now, looking at the statistics, it would have been a great month if I would have traded pretty much the entire month. However, I missed the first week of September, and that pretty much would have made me golden. So instead of being in profit right now, and potentially passing the second phase, I am sitting at 1% negative. 1% negative on my second phase, and I'm down 250 bucks on my live account because I am not going to go to 1% risk until I'm at max allocation with FTMO, right, guys? So the goal is to max allocate FTMO, move on to other prop firms, and build up $1 million worth of capital. Like, that's my goal. And then from there, I'll expand to 2 million and then diversify my risk. Like, to have different risk portfolios per account so I can maximize on wins and also understand that I might take some losses and maybe even blow an account, right? So that's my goal. If you're new to the channel, thanks for clicking, right? Like, the strategy is extremely simple. I'm only trading NASDAQ. I'm pretty much taking price from, let's see, midnight open from here to here, which is 8:30, right? And then I'm going to let price do what it does, right? Let price do whatever it wants to do during that time frame, right? And then after that time frame, I'm going to start looking for either side, top or bottom, extreme high or low, right? And if you look at this in a higher time frame, it ends up becoming that 4 hours high or low, right? Like, if you looked at this in a 4-hour chart, you'll see like there'll be a high and a low in the middle. So you're looking for a higher time frame liquidity to be taken out. So let's say it takes out the low. At this point in time, I'm looking for a reversal pattern to show a market structure shift that is something like this, where it pulls back and then goes back to the upside. And that's it. It's extremely simple. I typically go in on the 61.8. So let's see if oh, I did backwards. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, see, more or less. You get in and then you ride it all the way up. I am shooting for a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So overall, that's the strategy. Extremely simple, nothing hard. It's all on the 5-minute time frame. I used to trade the 1 minute. I had a stricter set of rules with the 1 minute when it came to the time frame that I was trading in. But overall, I feel like the 5-minute is more profitable, right? At least that's what my data has proven to me, is that the 5-minute setup is more profitable. Now, I'm just going to get into yesterday's trade. Today, there was no trade setup, but yesterday there was. So we're going to go over yesterday's trade real quick. So here you have, this is midnight opening price. This is all UTC -4. This is all New York time, guys. New York Eastern time. Wu-Tang Clan time. Sorry, guys. I went to the concert the other day. It was fucking epic. And yeah. So we're just going to mark out the extreme high, the extreme low. And at this point in time, we're going to wait for one of those sides to be taken out, right? Playing price forward, we can see that eventually the low gets taken out. So what are we looking for? We're looking for buys. All right. At this point in time, for there to be a market structure shift, I want this high to be broken, right? I want there to be a candle closure above these highs. So that's all we wait for, and we do get it. So now I take my fib out, right, top to bottom, and start marking it up, setting up my entry. So at this point, let me play price forward a little bit. Okay, starts to reject. I am taking a pending order long. I started taking it at the 0.59, and I'm gonna explain to you why when we go over the back tested data. There has been plenty of times where it freaking wicks, right? It goes there and it just doesn't enter my trade, right? And I lose on making money. And now it's frustrating because I'm going off of back tested data, right? Like, my edge is the fact that I've been trading this strategy since April, and I know that I'm profitable. So if I'm not able to get into the trades, it messes me up. It messes up my psychology. And honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, not doing these videos has messed me up. I feel like I would have been more profitable for whatever reason, coming back on the charts, just, speaking my mind, getting my thoughts out there. And I apologize that I went MIA for a while, but I am back. And we're going to continue the saga that is me becoming max allocated, right? So playing price forward, you're going to see that, let me see, price continue to pump. Entry is now here. Let's see, do we get tagged into the trade? We get tagged into the trade. So now you're targeting 2 times risk. Playing price forward. Full TP. That's all she wrote. Super simple. While I took this trade, you can see there's equal lows right here. Typically, it could have been a draw on liquidity, right? Like, price likes to target stuff like that. But when I back tested everything, I would go in on equal lows as well. So I decided to say, screw it. I'm going to take the trade. And I'm glad I did, because that trade put me in, not into the positive, but at least now I'm only down 1%. Instead of being down whatever I was down before, right? 3%. I was down 3%. So closing out of this, let's see, today's trade. Now let's just jump to today, just to go over real quick, so you can see that just by looking at what was previously posted, you'll see that the low gets taken out, right? Now, what I'm going to add to my my journaling is probably to see if the higher time frame confluence, as far as like, am I going with the trend on the 4-hour, right? Because right now you can see we're completely bearish on the 4-hour. Now I could get a bearish entry if it would break the highs and then follow the rest, then you catch the sell on the way down. However, today's trade didn't set up that way, right? We actually took out the lows. So we're going against the trend. So what I am going to do is mark up the fact that, how profitable am I when I'm going with the trend or against the trend? That's something I'm going to add to my data, and I'll keep you guys posted. But that's just food for thought. Playing price forward, you're waiting for this high to be broken, right? For there to be a market structure shift. But we never get it. I don't consider this a high at all, right? So now we're waiting. Actually, yeah. We're waiting for, at this point, you're still waiting for this high to be taken. But if this low gets taken out, it moves to this high, right? So playing price forward, this low actually does not get taken out. See? So this high is still the valid high, playing price forward. Now that low is officially taken out. You're waiting for this candle to be taken out, and never happens. This moves down to this candle, right? Playing price forward. Let me just, let's So press forward. Oh, this goes down to this one. All right, so it wasn't until here, 3 candle formation. This is, I wouldn't have gone in on this, even if I was there. Like, I don't even think you get a pullback. Yeah, no, that's it. So no trade for today, right? So that's pretty much it. It's an extremely simple strategy. I used it to pass a 100K FTMO challenge. So I am an officially, was it 6 figures funded trader. Now we're shooting for 7 figures, right? Going over the back tested data. How do I do this again? Can you see that? Bam. All right. So going over the back tested data, you can see I'm sitting at a 63% win rate, right? Now, let me take my face off for a minute so you guys can see the whole screen. All right. So in September, where is it? I started trading. I went on vacation the first week of September, which sucked because I had a nice winning streak, right? So I would have been up $6,000. Unfortunately, I ended up trading in this area right here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses. This win, however, right? Is this going to open up? Let me see if I can get to this. This win, however, is one of those situations where it wicked, right? On TradingView, you would take it as a win, but unfortunately on my broker with the spread, I didn't get tagged into the trade. And as you can see, it was a complete winner, right? This would be the low that was broken, right? So there was a market structure shift, 3 candle formation. This is the low, and then into the trade. Unfortunately, I didn't get tagged into that trade. It is what it is. Shit happens, right? Going back to the Excel spreadsheet. So my emotions were completely fucking rocked because I didn't get that win, and then I'm 5 losses in a row. Like, dude, like I've never really had 5 losses in a row. This week of September here, I didn't take this win either because I was doing a podcast with my mentor, which was awesome, right? And then in another video, I'll get into it, but it was awesome, and I even mentioned that I'm actually in drawdown, so I wasn't able to get into that trade. But these 2 trades I did take, so we are officially at 1%, negative 1%. But looking at September overall, if I would have taken every entry that was possible, right, starting from the very first month of September, you'll notice that right now I would be sitting at $9,000 profit. I would be almost passing my phase ones that I have because I have 2 unlimited phase ones. I would definitely have passed my phase 2, and then I would have had profit on my live account, but that didn't happen. I'm not going to let it get to me, guys, because as you can see, there are weeks where I lose, where I break even. Here's another break even week. Let's see. I think there's another losing week. Here's another losing week. This week was horrible, right? But overall, going back to April, let's just run through this together, guys, right? Like, I'm going to sit there and see. Let's see, April, right? April, we would have been up $17,000 if I was able to catch every entry. May. May comes down to here. May is $16,000, right? June. June is $23,000. Damn, June was badass. That was the month that was a good month. July. Oh, I hear my son. July. July is $19,000, and then August August itself is $15,000. So I would not have had not one losing month, guys. Like, it's insane. Going over the interview with my mentor Alex, I was telling him, dude, like I have a 63% win rate. He's like, that's fucking awesome. And I don't see it, right? Like I really don't see it because um you're here, it's a lonely sport, right? Like we're sitting here by ourselves analyzing stuff, letting unfortunately all these emotions get in our head and get the best of us, and sometimes we just have to separate ourselves and really look at the data. So I really, the one thing that if you can take anything away from my nonsense that I post on here, it's track your data, right? Track your setup, track your strategy, do everything possible to track it. Like, for example, I have here when Powell speaks, I am break even. This mofo is speaking tomorrow, I believe, right? So even though he's speaking at 4, I'm going to be very cautious on the trades I take because unfortunately, whenever he speaks, I suck for whatever reason, right? On Fridays I'm still profitable because I'm sitting at a 47%. But maybe like if I'm gonna take a day off, maybe it'll be a Friday because what's the point, right? Um, Now, unfortunately, we get news all the damn time, right? There's always red folder news. So looking at red folder days, I'm at a 58% win rate, which still ain't bad, right? But I'm not going to stop trading the news because I need to, right? It's the only days that I'm able to pass the accounts. I mean, like, I feel like well, that's not true. I could stop trading the news. I would just raise my risk to 2%, right? Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's see. If I eliminate my red folders, how many losses in a row do I ever get? Sheesh. Maybe that's something to think about. I barely get any losses in a row. Holy shit. Wow. We might be onto something, guys. So, taking a look at this information, right? Let's say that I would have just doubled up my size, taking 2% risk, 47,000. That's what 40 is 80 plus 1494. So yeah, more or less the same amount of profit that I would make if I would have traded the news days, but technically it would be less riskier just because the most losses in a row I had were 3, so 2, 4, 6. I would be down 6%. So I would still pass challenges without a doubt, right? Might be something to look at instead of just going ham every single day. Definitely might be something to look at. Anyways, I'm done rambling, guys. I am sorry again for disappearing for a little while. Trust me when I tell you that I am not gonna be disappearing. Oh, you know what? I was playing around with this, guys. So I was sitting there talking to my cousin because we were talking about. I don't know if you guys are familiar with I think FX Alex, right? Alex Gonzalez. I live in Florida, so the good and the bad thing is I get to see these guys not like in person all the time, but it's always around. And down here, like everybody's an aspiring trader or wants to trade, and you hear the stories about all these people. And then obviously, I follow all of them. He is doing a challenge where he's taking $100 to $1,000,000, which is insane. So I was just running my data, right? Like I wouldn't do, I don't think I would be able to get a broker where I had the margin to be able to do it with $100. But if I had $5,000, and I know that he's risking more, and for example, my mentor sometimes risks 5% per trade. I know that Lambo Raul also risks 5% per trade. If I took $5,000, put it into my data, right, which is previous data, but whatever. Let's just say back then I took 5 grand, I put it in, and then I decided to risk 5% per trade. And this is just for shits and giggles, right? Risking 5% per trade, looking at a compound, right? At first, you're risking $250. Obviously, as it compounds, it becomes more and more and more. But up until the end of September, you would be sitting at almost $500,000, which is pretty insane. Um, that might be something that I will be willing to do and try, and actually set up an FX book to track it, because I think it would be awesome, right? But I'll only do that once I'm actually max allocated, uh, so I could focus. Right now, my main focus is passing the prop firms. Even though this is all based off of the same data, I just, one thing at a time. I honestly bought another two prop firm challenges with Funded Engineer. And if anybody can recommend any brokers out there that pay out, you let me know, because obviously we know what happened with my Forex funds. Um, I'm probably going to do the Funded Trader. There's a few of them out there. So I'm trying to sit there and space it out, right? I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, because whoever was max allocated, like, don't get me wrong, I want to be max allocated with FTMO, because I feel like that's I don't know, it's bragging rights, right? FTMO is the OG. So I want that. I want that title. And as far as the other prop firms, they should be easier to pass, because typically it's 8%. Some of them are even 6%. So I'm gonna look into that. Might also look into doing a top step. So stay tuned, guys. And I'm gonna post a lot more content. So keep your eye out. I was also going over a strategy on GJ for Asia session, because my wife wants to start trading again. So it's something that works in her time frame, and these are the stats. So it doesn't look bad at all, but still, I gotta play with it. Overall, 72% win rate. August, September. How many trades is that in total? That's only 33 trades. I still got to backtest this more. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. And you guys have a blessed night.